Well, congratulations. You just bought your first house. Now it's time to go sign the papers and make the house officially yours. Unfortunately, you're going to have to bring some money with you that day. We're going to be talking about closing costs today. I'm Mr. Boyle. Are you ready? Hey guys, Mr. Boyle here. Welcome to today's lesson. As you can tell by the introduction, we're talking about what happens once you actually do get the mortgage. We're talking about closing day. This is the day you're going to come in to buy the house. The people selling you the house are going to be there. There's going to be some lawyers there. There's going to be a lot of papers for you to sign. There's also going to be some fees that you have to pay on that day. One of them is the basis of this first problem, which we call prepaid interest. This confuses a lot of people when they buy their first house. It confused me when I bought my house. I didn't really understand it because most people, they're buying their first house, they've been renting, and now it's time to go from renting to paying a mortgage. And there's your difference. In rent, when you pay rent on the first of the month, that gives you the right to live there that month. So when I pay rent on April 1st, that gives me the right to live in my place all of April. Mortgages are backwards. When I pay my mortgage on April 1st, I'm actually paying the interest that grew in March. When I pay my mortgage on May 1st, I'm not paying the interest that's going to grow in May. I'm paying the interest that already grew in April. This is what's called paying in arrears. You are paying for the interest that already grew the previous month. Now, this works every month, month after month. This is no problem, except for that first month. So if I close, like in this problem says, on May 20th, and then June 1st were to come to make my payment, it shouldn't I shouldn't have to pay interest for the whole month of May because I didn't live there for the whole month of May. I should only have to pay interest for the days that I lived in the house. Hopefully that makes sense. So today we're just going to talk about how to pay that. So what will happen is on closing day, in this case May 20th, you will pay whatever interest is going to grow in May. Then when June comes, you don't have to make a mortgage payment. You won't make your first payment until July. But in July, you're going to pay all of June's interest. But that first half of a month, quarter of a month, depending on how many days, you got to pay that interest right away to get that out of the way. And that's what's called prepaid interest. Let's talk about how they calculate that on closing day. What you are going to do is you are going to take the amount of money the mortgage is for, multiply by the APR, and you get this number, in this case, $7,770. This is how much interest you're going to pay for what you would pay for the whole year. We're not talking about the whole year. So the first thing we got to do is figure out how much do you pay a day. So in this problem, I took the annual interest and I divided by 365. That means on this particular loan, my interest is growing $21.29 every single day. Now, to figure out the prepaid interest, all you now need to do is figure out how many days there are in May that you'll be living in the house. Now, we're not going to count May 20th because you didn't live there the whole day. So you only got to pay interest from May 21st to the end of the month. Now, if you take a calendar out, you'll see that May actually has 31 days. So if you count it with me now, May 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 31. That's 11 days. So we're going to take that $21.29, multiply it by 11. That means for the month of May that you're going to be living in that house, there will be $234.19 of interest that will grow. Normally, you wouldn't have to pay that until you make your mortgage payment, but on this first closing day payment, you have to pay that right away. So you'd have to come with a check for that amount of money. And this is stuff that they would tell you ahead of time so you know how much is coming in. Okay. That's prepaid interest. Let's get to the second problem. Here's the second problem. I'm sure you might be thinking right now, okay, Mr. Boyle, that's one payment I have to make when I close. Are there any other fees that are going to come up on that day? And yeah, now everything is negotiable. I can't tell you exactly what the rule is for how much you're going to pay at closing day. So the general rule is it'll be 2% to 6% of whatever they sold the house for. So how much money should you have planned available on the day you buy the house? 2% to 6%. So let's just look at the last problem. So if the house costs $185,000, you should expect that your closing costs are going to be somewhere between $3,700 and $11,100. Now, if you want a list of what some of those costs are besides prepaid interest, if you have your textbook, you can go to page 420. They have a lot of them listed there. We don't really need to talk about what each one represents. That goes a little bit beyond what this class is about. This class, once again, is usually more about the math, the numbers behind it. So the bottom line is we're going to stick with this one. If I say to you, you bought a house for $185,000, how much should you expect to pay in closing costs? You should say somewhere from $3,700 all the way up to $11,100. Okay, that's it for today. You guys have a great rest of the week. I'm Mr. Boyle. Bye bye.